Hey everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa. If you're new here, we are a large family living off-grid in Australia. It is December and we are doing Christmas baking all month long. The idea is that I get to bake something sweet most days. Some days I do more than one recipe at once and then I break it up into a couple of videos. Some days I only get to do one. And that we make something Christmassy that we make only really at Christmas time, but throughout the whole of December, so that I'm not trying to cram it all into the last week of Christmas, and we get to enjoy it spread out rather than, you know, trying to have this and that and that and this because we really want to have it, but we don't really need it. So that is what we're doing at the moment. Today's endeavours, I am getting started very late, it is 3:30, is the cheesecakes that we wanted to make. So Darryl has a bit of a thing for a keto New York baked cheesecake that I make. So we're going to start that one up and get that one in the oven. And then the plan is to make the Choc mint Oreo cheesecake for the kids as well. So we're being a little bit ambitious here, but neither of them should take too long to put together. Maybe. So we're going to get going. So first thing we need to do is do the base for the keto cheesecake. So I need 80 grams of butter. So I just have my pot on my Thermomix here to use as scales because my scales are inside where I've been weighing parcels for postage. And I'm going to get 80 grams of butter. And just soften it on the stove, and then I'll have to go and get my scales from inside. So, goodness, 80 grams of butter. All right, so we're going to put that on the hot plate on low just to soften up for us to make the base. All right, I'm having trouble finding my scales for some reason. I'm not sure where they are. Using them in multiple places is not advisable when you want to use them. So we need 200 grams of almond meal. Oh, Sonnet found them for me. Thank you. Do you want to grab the little tins and put the, you know how we put the baking paper in the bottom of the tins? You want to help me do that? I think they're on the table. All right, so we got, I overdid it a little bit. 200 grams of almond meal. We've got the 80 grams of melted butter. And we're going to put a couple of tablespoons of the sweetener in as well. If you want to grab the scissors off my desk, and then we'll cut it into squares and we'll do it like we did it last time. Yeah? So we've got that in there as the base. Let me give that a stir. And I'm just going to bring that together as the biscuit base for the baked cheesecakes. And then we're going to line the baking tin. So yeah, so if you just cut like this much off, yeah, and then we will fold the baking paper. That should be fine. So we're going to fold it into portions. Yeah, and then cut it as needed, and we're going to cut it into portions to line the bottoms of the loose tin bases. So put a piece in, and then we put the thing around it, flatten it out a little bit. Yeah, no, I probably could have cut it a little bit bigger, but it'll be fine. Just don't push it in too much, like that. Squeeze it together, and we've got the bottoms of the bases lined. Now, we are not going to put these in a water bath in the oven. Some people do. Darryl and I prefer them not that way. We like to get the bit of a skin on them. So all you need to do is have them mostly sealed to make it easier to get them out. So Sonnet's going to line those ones for me. I just got the biscuit base here, and then we're just going to divide the biscuit base up. So there was 280, sort of 300 grams worth here. So how many we got? We got 6, so we'll do 50 grams of base in each one. Yep. If your hands are clean, you wet your fingers slightly and you can push it all flat, and then we'll bake it off. Alright, so we've evenly got the base between all the different tins. Sonnet's going to wet her hands and then just push it all into the bases. And we're just going to place them all on a baking tray, and we'll bake these for about 15 minutes at about 180. And while they're baking, we'll mix up the insides of the cheesecake. All right, so now we're just going to do the insides of the cheesecake. So what we need is 750 grams of cream cheese. So 750 grams. This is a 1 kilo block, so it'll be most of this one. We'll use the rest of it towards the kids' mint choc chip cheesecake. So
I'm going to mint choc chip cheesecake.
Because I can't make a mint choc chip cheesecake keto. Well, I probably could, but I'm not going to. Yep.
I do love real cheesecake.
Yes.
So.
I'm glad it's fine, because that's what you're getting.
No, it's not fun. Now we can do.
All right, 750 of that. I actually think I scaled up everything last time to use the full kilo block just to make it easier. But because I'm making the other cheesecake, I thought, well, yeah. Anyway, 750 grams. We need 4 eggs, which I have cracked already. We need 300 grams of...
So you just did the cook show.
The cook show previously prepared, yeah. Then we need 300 grams of sour cream.
Also previously prepared.
Also previously prepared. Okay, and then sweetener, I think, is all I need. Other than that, 100 grams, and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So, it's about 2 tablespoons, isn't it?
You're that salt guy.
2 tablespoons of that, and then, or was it 100 grams of sweetener?
Now if it's me doing that, the whole just go thick.
And then we're just going to blend it until smooth. So I'm going to use the Thermomix, that's why it's in a Thermomix jug, and just get it nice and smooth. All right, we did 2 lots of 30 seconds at about speed 5.5, and it's lovely and smooth. So now we just have to wait for the bases to come out, cool briefly, and then we'll put them back in the oven. And now this should have some vanilla in it, which I forgot. So I'm going to do that. But this should be around about sort of 1,300 grams, I suppose. And we've got 6 bases, so we're looking at just over 200 grams per base, I think, is what we'll go for. Do a tablespoon of vanilla bean paste. So that's how we'll weigh it in at just over 200 grams, and we'll see what we're left with at the end per base. And generally speaking, Darryl and I will just share like one. We'll split it in half and eat it as a serve, or quarters or thirds, depending on what we've eaten for dinner and all the rest of it. But again, it's a treat, so we don't do it all that often because it's just Darryl would love it if I made them all the time, but I don't. So I've just stirred that vanilla through, so now we're just going to wait on those bases. So let me get tidied up and I might start putting together the other one as well. All right, so first up, we need to crush some of the biscuits for the base. What weight are these? 131. Might do a pack and a half for the base and a pack and a half for the extra bits. How many are in each one? 1, 2, 3. Does it say how many are in each one? Per 23 gram serves, 2 cookies, there's 5.5 per package. Isn't that odd? So there's 11 cookies in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why my kids always fight over who gets the spare one. Now I understand. So we've got a packet and a half of those in there. We've got just a little bit of melted butter as well. And we're going to grind these up. I'm going to use the Thermomix, use a food processor, use a bag, a Ziploc bag, whatever you want. Till we have crumbs for the base. Now, what shall I make this in? We've got cookie crumbs. Let me grab a tin. I've got a smallish loose tin pan. It might be a 20 centimeter one maybe. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the mini ones. Place the baking paper, and just line it like that. Super simple. All right, so we're going to put the base in the bottom here and press that down. Just get it all spread out. Damp hands and press it down. Now, I don't like my bases too thick, so this is probably plenty. We just want to make sure that the whole of the bottom is covered. But I find that sometimes bases for cheesecakes can be a little overpowering. Mind you, I didn't add any sweetener or anything to this, and Oreos aren't the sweetest things in the world. They are, and they aren't. They're one of those, it's because they're malty, I reckon. So they tend to be a little less sweet because of the malty factor. So we've got the whole base covered. Alrighty, now what we want to do, alright, I'm going to rinse this. Actually, I think I have another bowl. Let me see if I got another bowl or if I need to clean this one. I haven't had the camera on and I don't know for how long. This is what happens when we're doing things in a rush. So we have in our Thermomix here, we have 500 grams of cream cheese, 165 grams of, I'm using powdered sugar so it blends up really nicely, a teaspoon of peppermint essence and 150 mils of cream as well. Now, normally I would add some green food essence in here, but if anyone was watching yesterday, my food dyes have disappeared. I did have a box of a whole range of colours. When I asked about it, someone said something got spilled and it got thrown out. So I need to buy some new ones. So it's not going to be green, which is unfortunate, but life. So we've got all that in here and I'm going to blend it and then I'm going to dissolve some gelatin as well. So let's get this blending first. So we've got a lovely smooth mix there, all right? And then we're going to use some gelatin. So we're going to use sort of 2.5 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons of gelatin. This is a half teaspoon, but it's dry. So 1, 2, 3, so it's 1.5, 2, 2.5, and a bit for luck. Every gelatin is slightly different. This is a pretty good one, pretty good quality one, but every gelatin is slightly different. So we have that there. We're going to put a couple of tablespoons of water into this and we're going to let it dissolve. All right, so I've mixed it with a couple of tablespoons of water and bloomed it. I'm going to put it over some boiling water just to dissolve it a little bit before we add it through. Otherwise, we're going to end up with lumps. So we're going to do that. Now, I've just got some water heating to do that. Now the bases for the baked cheesecakes are done. So I'm going to grab the scales and put a base on and aim for the 200 and a little bit of filling in each one. And we'll see, we'll do that and we'll smooth them out once we've got alright, so 2 10-ish in each mould, and there is a little bit left but not enough to fill another one, and we don't want to overfill these too much, so I'm just going to smooth them out a little bit, and then they're going to go back on that baking tray and back in the oven. Just like that. Alright, back on the baking tray, back in the oven. I have to check the timing. I think it's 60 minutes for a full size one, but in these I think it ended up being about 35, maybe 40, so we will start at 30 minutes. Alright, I've got some hot water here, and the plan is just to, oh, I thought it would fit, but warm this through. Ow, I thought it was narrower than that, and it's not, of course. We just want to rest it above the heat and get it to dissolve. So like a double boiler effect type thing. And then we're going to turn the Thermomix on and put it in while it's blending. It may even take a little bit of the filling. Accidentally just picked up some lemon zest with that one. Oh well. And blend that into the gelatin before we blend it in, because it is really easy to end up with jelly-like lumps in your cheesecakes. I don't know how everyone else does this, but I find that you have to take that little bit of extra time, because otherwise you end up with these jelly-like lumps. So we're going to throw this back on with the lid on, and I'm going to turn it on to spin. Get this out of the way. As usual, I'm juggling space a little bit. So there we go. So now we've got this smooth, hopefully no gelatin bits in it. The kids aren't going to complain anyway. Alright, so now we're going to break up some Oreos to mix through. Oops. As per usual, I forgot to move the camera, so we're just chopping up some Oreos to go in the mix, and I'll do these ones as well, and then the rest can go on the top as a garnish. That calls for chocolate chips to go in it as well. I really don't think it needs chocolate chips. I think there is plenty of crunch and sweetness without chocolate chips. So we've got about a packet of Oreos in there too. Ideally this would be green, which would be, you know, fantastic. So it's just not going to be green. It's just not going to be quite as effective. But anyway, so we're going to scrape all of this into the choc mint base.
Colour it green in the thumbnail.
Yeah. AI it, you reckon?
Yeah, there's Do what everyone else does. AOA rearrange.
All right, and then we're just going to use the last of this pack. No, not to eat. To sprinkle over the top. I have a whole packet there left, if I really want.
Definitely not keto Oreos.
Definitely not keto Oreos. I did almost buy you a packet of keto Oreos on iHerb, but they were $20 for one packet.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Yeah. I thought about it for your Christmas stocking.
Oreos. It's not that much.
No.
Not $20.
Yep.
I'll let it go in a minute.
Has to set first, but yeah. So there we go. Now, it also says to put chocolate chips on the top. I don't think it needs any more of anything. That is plenty. So that is going to be their first try of dairy cheesecake, and it is a choc mint Oreo one. So we're going to put that in the fridge. I'll bring you back when the baked ones are finished. All right, so this is what the baked cheesecakes come out like. Perfect little baked New York style cheesecakes. These are just really nice. I'll cut one open to show you in a minute. And so we have those. And then this choc mint one. Now, probably could do with a bit longer in the fridge before I cut it, but kind of want to get it done this evening so I can edit and get the video out. So let's see if it'll come out. There we go. Holding itself well. And that's what the Oreo choc mint cheesecake looks like. Now, of course, it would be better if it had green in the cheesecake, but you know, so what I might do is I might cut some slices and try and set it up for a nice photo, and I'll bring you back and show you.